What are the key components of holistic youth development?
According to me, the key components for youth first should be his education and health, and then will be his overall upbringing. That means not just education, the other activities, his family or his school, or if he is a grown up person, then the university provides him, along with the neighborhood as well as the country as a whole. It's not so easy to tell just if he comes from a solvent family, everything will be okay. No, he has to be associated with all these points, and he has to get support from all these corners. Only then you will have a really groomed person, whether it's a girl or a boy, whether it's a juvenile one or a grown up one. But that's my conception.
Next question, sir. How can skill development programs enhance youth employability?
Yes, this is what we have spoken this evening. Actually, the education that you receive in our universities, I am talking about the universities in Bangladesh, is mainly academic education. You generally don't learn how to say make a presentation, how to represent yourself in different situation, how to give promptly an answer to a query. These things we generally don't teach at the university or at the college. Some exceptional students, both girls and boys, they learn it themselves because they have seen some elder brother or somebody in the family to be like that, very smart. But in our big country, which has crores of people, generally all the children or the youth, they don't get all this training. So skill development for a particular job or a particular entrepreneurship or a particular business is very, very important to have. And for that, in addition to your academic life, your parents or you yourself, after you grow up, should, depending on of your liking or your capability or capacity, should get involved in learning some skills. Like I give you an example, somebody who wants to become a teacher, he needs several degrees to join or sit for the exam and qualify as a teacher. But how to teach, how to draw the attention of young mind, how to keep that attention to continue for hours together, and how to write reports, and at the same time finally when the teacher will need to tell the student that now, like I have drawn your attention and given you the guideline to represent yourself, do it in front of me and show that you have learned how to speak. Speaking development, or how to do debate, or how to do extempore speech. These things actually only few children learn who take part in different cultural activities. But the majority are not with these things. Maybe they are associated with playing only games or just going back to home. They don't learn these things. And finally, people who want to do business. I mentioned today in my speech that there are junior chambers now in even Bangladesh. If you mix with some people who are little older than you, but they are already successful in business, by accompanying him or her to different programs and observing seriously how they are doing business, or how they are starting a new business, or how they sell their product, or how they promote their product, you will, if you are 18, observing that 25-year-old person, you will learn, and then you will be a successful entrepreneur or a person who has started a startup business. So all these things are possible, but in our country it is still there is a scarcity of this kind of training institute. Some training institute for the middle class people have started, especially who are going to Middle East and some other countries, where they learn how to do, say, welding, how to do something to do with medical practices or something. But they haven't learned seriously how to, do something as a overall practice. You understand? You are a good MBBS doctor, but you don't know how to make your patient feel comfortable when he or she approaches you. We have heard the name of some of our most famous doctors in Bangladesh, that by just reaching him, the way he welcomes you and then feels your pulse or takes some measurement of your body temperature and other things, by the way he approaches you, you start feeling well. And then he becomes a very famous doctor, and everybody says in Bangla that he is a Dhannantari. But main thing is he knows how to first make you feel very comfortable, and then he suggests you the medicine and some tests. But if it is the opposite, that he only gives you within 1 minute, yeah, go and do these tests and then come back again, then in the meantime maybe your situation will deteriorate. So all these things we have to understand when you are talking about skill development, whether you become a professional doctor or engineer or lawyer or chartered accountant or a teacher, or whether you become a businessman or an entrepreneur.
Right. Next question is, how can mental health initiatives support young people? Mental health support initiative young people.
In my country, it is more appropriate because we have a small country size wise and a very big population. And though we are trying to, have not very big families, but even then till today, especially in the rural area and the slum area, we still have big families. So sometimes if all the children don't get similar kind of solvency, education, and don't have same kind of food, and at the same time the shelter, I mean the house where you stay, it is not also comfortable, then the more intelligent one, because like your fingers, all the children don't have the same quality, because some are more intelligent than others. So some will of course suffer mentally. And then the question of mental health and its development, proper development, will automatically come to the fore. And that's why it is very important for the government as well as NGOs who are involved in developing the population of the country to address all these challenges, that family shouldn't be too big, the quality of food that you put on the table, not only it should be of good quality, it should go to same calorie for the person of same age, in same calorie to person of same age, and there will be no differentiation when the question of gender comes between male and female. You remember, if you study our novels and literature, you will see the mother gives, maybe in the past especially, to the boys more, or to the father of the family, than the girl. And the mother herself eats the less. It shouldn't be like that. It should be according to the need of calorie. And of course, if the exam days come, you need to feed the person who is giving the exam, appearing at the exam, better food, milk and other things, healthy food. So these things we don't take care, and other children who are observing that for some reason I am not getting the same treatment, there is some mental problem. Then comes the social challenges, like we were talking today at our seminar, that if the security of the neighborhood or a city or town or village is not good, then you are always feeling challenges from the society. you sometimes feel very uncomfortable to go out during the early evening, even to visit somebody, because you think something can happen since I'm a girl. And some of the boys who are too much dependent on their parents for their protection, they are not given chance to develop themselves by themselves. They are also grown up as a dependent children, and sometimes they are also creating problem of this mental health challenge within the family, because they are less courageous than maybe his or her more intelligent or more confident brother and sister. Are you understanding? So mental health doesn't mean that it has to be only challenged by some policies of the government. It can be challenges coming from the upbringing of the family, from the neighborhood, from school, college, university, and from the society at large. Finally, from wrong use of policies by the government, there can be challenges as well. Because if government only tells you to be a good student and doesn't encourage to be a good footballer and not to take care of your health, not from food only, from exercise also, and don't make you feel for your next door neighbor, community development, overall community development, loving each other, loving people of different, upbringing, different solvency, different religion, different ethnicity, and then growing the country together with all these things combined. If you don't do it, it has to be, as we were telling, even our honorable advisor was telling, there should be good combination and good mix of policies coming from different sector, whether it is from the food sector, whether it is from, food habit, whether it is coming from your, education sector, whether it's coming from the security sector, the home ministry, whether it is coming from the sector of games, sports, culture, all together actually helps in developing the individual or collectively a group of people in one part of the society or one part of the country. So if you don't take care of these things seriously, then there will be always I was coming there, someone in the family thinking, I don't get the love of my parents too much because my other brother or sister is too clever. He or she knows how to win the heart of the parents.
Yes.
I don't know. Are you understanding? So these are big problems. To me, mental health is very, very important, and for that you should be involved in different sectors to develop yourself. And parents, when you are young, first should take care of you, and then you give you freedom to take care of yourself after some age, not to always control you or make you a dependent personality.
Right, sir. Thank you. Sir, next question is how can you all participate in community service be encouraged?
This thing actually, not only 100 years back, when our national poet Kazi Nazrul Islam was actually involved with writings, rhymes, chora, rhymes, pieces of poetry for young generation, especially school children and the youth. You understand, Bidrohis for the youth, and Khoka Khoku ba Bhor Holo Dor Kholo for the children, or Lichuchor. So you have to understand, or Lichuchor, as I mentioned. So you have to understand, you have to feed all these things differently in their own language, in a loving way, to develop them. So your first thing will be, for the parents I am telling, to involve your children in sports, in community development and cultural development by making them part of, it can be Kochikachar Ashor, it can be Shobuj Sena, it can be Girls Guide, it can be scouting, and there are plenty of more in Bangladesh. BNCC is a little bit older, but of course BNCC when you are in the university. So if you don't take part of any of them and just be a very good student, you will see you lack the quality of how to mix properly with other people and how to do teamwork.
Right, right, sir.
You understand? So these things I will encourage the parents, and once they introduce you, like my parents did when I was only 5 years old, they did, and mainly my grandmother, and then my mother. Father was very busy as a doctor, but they all did, and they encouraged me. And then they gave me freedom when I grew to some extent in my age. Say when I am 13, 14, I am in my adolescent age, like we call a very young person or kishore or kishori. Then if I start getting the freedom and you don't teach me how to talk all the time, I learn how to talk the best from my own initiative. Then actually when you go to the university or you are at the end of the college, there is competition, you will already find that you are becoming champion or you are doing very well, you are earning respect from your classmates because you are not only a good student, you can play good football, your health is well, you don't suffer every day, and you talk very nicely with everyone, read books, have lot of social knowledge, and also read newspaper. Nowadays you have everything in your hand, even newspaper, through this mobile and television and everything, and ChatGPT and everything. But these things should come, as I told you, age-wise, some encouragement from the, as you said, encouragement
Right.
from parents and neighborhood
Neighborhood. And the society.
and the society, and from on the other side, after some age, from yourself. If you have become too much self-centered or too much as we call them, not so open-minded, you keep yourself only to yourself.
Conservative.
Not conservative. Conservative is more with religion and your policy and thinking, little bit older. I'm talking about attokendrik is number one, and second one is self-centered, I mentioned. And another one is when you are thinking only, not attokendrik only, you don't know how to think for others as a team. You have to think for your society and the neighborhood and your family as a whole. You are only thinking how you will groom yourself, not for the whole country. And if you don't think for the whole country, how will the country as a whole go and become a developed country? I will finish by telling a story. When I was in one of the most developed countries in the world, posted as a diplomat, I have seen how they encourage the youth to take initiative to do social work. I went there to do my master's. I was a little older than them, and they were saying they are early 20s, I was in my late 20s. They encouraged me, let's go. We have heard that our river water is polluted.
Right.
So we are going to get some sample of that water and make some experiment and then report to the government, not to depend only on the government. It's a big river. You come and see how we do it. See, 20-year plus age boys and girls doing that thing, inviting a 27-year-old person visiting from another country, their senior classmate, to learn how to do social work and then preparing report and giving it to the government. So this kind of thing in my country, people do, but mostly they do after they grow up as NGO workers or government servants, or they are trying to be a scientist or a person who does research. But I am talking about from the youth, when you are already 16 or 18, different countries, different age limit, then you will see you have that advantage of learning for extra 7 to 5 years, 5 to 7 years, because you started early. If you don't do it, then you lose those days. And time gone, Bygone time is bygone. It is already gone.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
You are welcome.
For giving a nice interview, sir. Thank you very much.
You are welcome. Thank you.